friends, we take a moment to read from the scriptures. Our reading at this hour is from the Apocryphal Book of Ecclesiasticus. And the background looks a little bit different than it normally looks because this is one of 3 videos around Dallas's convention time that bring together the 3 books that we're currently reading as we read the Bible together. So this video looks a little different than all of the others. You see, we are reading from Ecclesiasticus, from 1 Kings, and from Romans at this time, and you can see where we presently are in all of these readings. And today, at this moment, we read from Ecclesiasticus. We're starting chapter 23. We are quickly nearing the end of this second section, collected teachings. Teachings that show that every part of life is transformed by God's wisdom. And will be quickly then, well, we'll see how quickly it is, because I'm not sure how long chapter 23 is, but we'll go ahead and stick with quickly. We'll be quickly at some point into chapter 24 and moving on to the next section. So, friends, with that in mind, then, we read. I'll be reading from the Common English Bible, which you will see in a moment in the left-hand column. And in the right-hand column, you see the text as found in the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition. There we go. That one's set. Get this all set in place. And we'll pull up the timer. And we're also going to change the background. It's nice to show the spot where the 2 branches of the Susquehanna come together and become one on this day that we celebrate the coming together of Bethlehem and central Pennsylvania to be the diocese of the Susquehanna. Pull up our timer here. Get this over in its regular appointed spot. Reset it. And change the background, and let's read. Lord, Father, and Master of my life, don't abandon me to their will, and don't let me fall because of them, who will station whips to keep my thoughts in line, and set the discipline of wisdom over my heart, so that I might not be spared my faults due to ignorance, and my sins not go unnoticed. Otherwise, my acts of ignorance might multiply, and my sins might increase. and I'll fall before my adversaries, and my enemy will rejoice over me. Lord, Father, God of my life, don't let me have prideful eyes. Turn desire away from me. Don't allow gluttony or sexual desire to overtake me, and don't hand me over to a shameless spirit. Listen, my children, to instruction about your mouth, and whoever follows my instruction will never succumb to it. Notice by the way the voice is changed. The NRSV in the right-hand column points this out very clearly. Discipline of the tongue. There's been a shift. Listen, my children, to instruction about your mouth. Whoever follows my instruction will never succumb to it. The lips of sinners will seize them and make abusers and the arrogant stumble. Don't let your mouth get used to making solemn pledges, and don't get accustomed to saying the name of the Holy One. Remember, our Jewish friends consider the name of the Holy One to be so sacred as to only be utterable, speakable by the Holy One, by God. Remember that. Verse 10. Just as a household slave who is constantly examined won't be lacking bruises, so also the person who always swears and speaks the Lord's name will never be cleansed from sin. People who make solemn pledges will be full of lawlessness, and a scourge won't depart from their house. If they break their solemn pledges, their sin is on them, and if they disregard it, they sin doubly. And if they swear falsely, they won't be justified, but their houses will be full of misery. There is a way of speaking that's comparable to death. Don't let it be found among Jacob's descendants. All these things will stay far away from the godly, and they will not wallow in their sins. Don't grow accustomed to saying coarse things, because to do so is to engage in sinful speech. Remember your father and mother, because you sit in the council among officials. This way, you won't forget yourself in front of them and act foolish out of habit. Then you'd wish that you hadn't been born, and you'd curse the day of your birth. People who are accustomed to reproachful words will never learn anything their whole life. Two types of people multiply sins, and a third will bring wrath. A hot temperament that burns like fire will never be quenched until it is spent. People who are promiscuous with their kin will never stop until the fire burns out. To promiscuous people, all bread is sweet. They don't become weary until they die. There are people who violate their marriage bed, saying to themselves, "Who will see me?" Darkness envelops me. The walls hide me. No one will see me. Why do I have a care? The Most High will never recall my sins. They fear human eyes. but they are unaware that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. They observe all the ways of human beings and look into hidden places. Before all things were created, God knew them, so as well after they were finished. These people will be punished in the streets of the city, and when they least expect it, they will be seized. So it is with a woman when she is unfaithful to her husband, and she presents him with an heir by another man. First, she's disobeyed the law of the Most High. Second, she's wronged her husband. Third, she has committed adultery by her illicit sexual behavior and produced children by another man. She will be led into the assembly, and her punishment will be upon her children. Her children won't take root, and her branches won't bear fruit. She will leave behind a cursed memory, and her reproach won't be wiped clean. And those who remain will know that nothing is better than fearing the Lord, and nothing is sweeter than keeping the Lord's commandments. And that brings us to chapter 24. Chapter 24. And I paused because once I get chapter 24 set up, we're going to take a look at this board again. Chapter 24 starts at something new. Well, relatively. Interesting to see that the NRSV has a section breaker here and says the praise of wisdom. The praise of wisdom. Our big board shows us chapter 24, wisdom and Torah. God's wisdom permeates the universe. There's that image of Lady Wisdom again from Proverbs that showed up so often here. And there's this connection to Torah. Remember, Torah is something greater than just the first 5 books of the Bible. Torah is instruction, God's instruction, which is God's self-revelation. Torah, and this image puts that so beautifully right in the heart of this image. Torah is the tree of life. Torah is the river of life. God's instruction, God's wisdom, the knowledge of God. Chapter 24. Wisdom will praise herself, and she will boast in the midst of her people. In the assembly of the Most High, she will open her mouth, and in the presence of his heavenly forces, she will boast. I came forth from the mouth of the Most High, and I covered the earth like a mist. I lived in the heights, and my throne was in a pillar of cloud. I alone encircled the vault of heaven and walked in the depths of abysses, in the waves of the sea, and in every land, and among every people and nation. I led the way. I sought a resting place among all of these. In whose allotted territory should I make my home? We're going to pause there, friends. And next time that we pick up Ecclesiasticus, it will be at chapter 24, verse 8. Peace be with you, dear friends.